Hi, I am Austin Irwin, and the topic I was assigned was workers' compensation. The first article that I looked into was about um, workers' compensation in Israel um, being taken over and becoming a state run monopoly, basically, is what they said. So, all workers' compensation, all that stuff was controlled by the government itself, and no private company or anything like that, corporation, they didn't go through the businesses themselves anymore. Um, and so they were talking about why this was kind of an issue, and from their perspective, how it compared to how we do things in the US. So, like, there have been state run programs of workers' compensation in the past, and we do have like standards and requirements, but it's not like entirely controlled by our government. So they kind of compared that and why it's better for individuals and private companies to have more of a say than just entirely a monopoly by the government itself. So it just doesn't seem to be the best option, and people don't give the best care. And I even actually was surprised to learn that it started because social reform groups and stuff like that wanted to make a change to make up for things that had gone wrong in the past, like compensation that wasn't being given where it was due, stuff like that. So they actually wanted to do this state run program so that nobody would be denied access to compensation and so that everyone could be treated fairly in a sense. But it turned out to actually be worse off because obviously no competition, no incentive for those things to change, and they're just so generic that they don't help everyone in the ways that they're really supposed to. Um, yeah, so basically, I agree. I agree with that. I think the way we do it here is better. I think it was really cool to see how, from their perspective in Israel, that's not a country I think about really. So it's cool to see how people there think about it and what they're doing. Even though this is a generally uh, standard perspective on it, um, it's just cool to see that side of it. Actually, I got injured at work recently and went through a workers' comp program myself, so it's kind of neat to see how they do it on their side of things. The other one that I looked at was kind of like workers' comp in California. So kind of the different ways that they do their pricing and how they do their payouts and stuff like that. Um, so what they do is they do like a fee scheduled workers' comp payment type of thing. So they'll do a standard amount set by the state for their system. Um, excuse me. So their amounts, they pay this percentage of the fee, based on what their system, what state of California tells them. And this article was talking about, okay, I guess it's similar to another state run or monopoly type of thing. Well, this isn't the only option or the required option. It's the majority of what they do, and California is one of the hugest states as far as workers' comp goes. I think I saw somewhere like 25% of the claims in the US are out of California. So a lot of them do follow that method still. And the article is talking about how it's not the most efficient, and sometimes, they're overpaying or they're just being too general in what they're paying. So it's not effective as a private company would be, as far as, private company, factory or organization has their specific insurance companies that they work with for different coverages. In that sense, they're more effective because they can get better private contracts and deals for their workers and can really have better guarantees and prices. So in that sense, it probably would be cheaper in the long run for everybody. So I thought that was kind of neat too, a perspective from within the U.S., but from a state that has such a large percentage of the claims. and another large system of the way they do things, you see the benefit of wanting to systemize things and make things more regulated, more standard. But it just, like they were saying, and I agree too, that the private flexibility that they can get that way is more valuable than this standardized system that California is wanting people to go by. So uh, that was my research into workers' compensation. Uh, Learned a lot of stuff I didn't know, even after going through a workers' compensation claim recently. So it was cool to see those perspectives. Thank you.